You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
208 days counting, straight days at sea, no port call. I believe that's a record for this modern Navy. Sailors, Marines, 5,500 of them out at sea. Why? Why haven't they port yet? USS Abraham Lincoln right now is still at sea supporting this bogus war. They left San Diego November 21st last year. Roughly 5,000 sailors and Marines. They were redirected to the Middle East. The deployment was supposed to only last till May of this year. It is now August. As of today, there's still no return date for that same carrier to be headed back to port. 40 days of continuous combat operations. They made a stop in Guam in December last year. A lot of the crew never got off the ship. One stop in Oman, July 7th, where the ones who did get off the ship, they were confined to a compound inside that port. Carriers normally pull in every 30 to 45 days. Why can't this carrier get back to port? Why? You have several people trying to throw themselves overboard. And now they're on medical hold because they're afraid of their careers finished. You have countless stories after story after story that are reaching back home to their loved ones. The loved ones are the ones that have to report this information and news to us. We wouldn't know. Pentagon is not telling us shit. You got another one, then another one, then another one that's trying to throw themselves overboard. What's going on, Pete Hegseth? Hey, Pentagon, why are you so quiet? Ask the Navy how many sailors have tried to go overboard. We need to know. Go back to April when the families put out photos of the food conditions. And then Pete Hegseth says it was fake news. Is this how we treat our bravest men and women serving our country? And then just in San Diego, you hear about the 200 family members got so pissed off, they wanted to talk to the Navy leadership and told them up front. No, it wasn't fake news. The family members, 200 of them in San Diego, said that in one room. One spouse said her husband messaged her one morning and told her he hopes he doesn't wake up tomorrow. Vice Admiral Joseph Calheo told those families, quote, "We hear you loud and clear. I sure hope you do. Get their asses back. Get a date, Admiral. Find a date. Get a date. Bring home the Lincoln. Bring the Lincoln home. Truth has no party. Y'all be well."
So not only are Trump and Hegseth attacking our service members, calling them and their families liars for reporting the fact that our sailors are trying to jump off the USS Lincoln because they have been on that ship for over 250 days, which is unprecedented, but they are now cutting the families off from information regarding our sailors. One woman said her husband texted her and said he hopes he doesn't wake up. Another member had to grab a sailor and keep him from jumping off. 5,000 of our sailors are trapped on that ship, and their families are begging Trump and Hegseth to help them, and they're calling them liars. The toilets are broken. The showers are full of mold. They don't have enough food. They're losing their minds and their health on this ship. Any medical professional will tell you this is dangerous. It is cruel. It is inhumane. And all Hegseth has to say is, this is false. They're making it up. Some of these family members are desperate to know if their family members are still alive, and they can't find out. This administration and Hegseth are responsible for torturing our service members. I don't want to hear anything out of their mouths that they care, that any of you Republicans give a rat's service members, because now they're keeping them on that ship to keep them quiet. It is absolutely disgusting. These people have no regard for human life.
All right, here's the deal. If you're going to send our men and women into a war, the absolute bare minimum is taking care of them while they're there. So right now, families of sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln are raising hell, as they should be. Now, the Lincoln has been deployed for roughly 9 months, supporting operations in Trump's unauthorized Iran war. Those sailors are dealing with food shortages, broken toilets, laundry failures, mold, mildew, exhaustion, and, as you might guess, collapsing morale. These aren't people sitting on some rear area base. They're running a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, working around fighter jets, weapons, heavy machinery, and jet fuel. They're exhausted, they're underfed. Families finally confronted Navy leadership demanding answers about the conditions, and most importantly, when are our people coming home? This is what pisses me off as a veteran. We hear support the troops every election cycle from the same people now running the show. Supporting the troops isn't a bumper sticker. It means feeding them, getting them safe living conditions, giving them adequate rest, taking care of their families, and not treating service members like an unlimited resource because one man decided to drag this country into another open-ended war. You want to honor the troops? Then stop treating them like disposable parts while you chase the next military adventure. Semper Fi, Gunny out.
So according to the Military Times, sailors aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln are trying to throw themselves overboard because of their constant state at sea. And I think this highlights a couple of issues that I'd like to address. If you've never been deployed to a combat zone, then all you know is the portrayal that is fed to you through movies, TV shows, video games, and other media. This article highlights some of the darker aspects that's not always presented. See, when you're forward deployed into a combat environment, a lot of your life has to change. For instance, when I was deployed to the Oruzgan province of Afghanistan in 2004, we didn't have communication with our families back home outside of the very rare time that you could use a satellite phone, and usually only for emergencies and the occasional mail drop that was inconsistent at best. We ate the same food for weeks, which usually consisted of the same selection of MREs over and over. Water was not cold because we had no refrigeration where we were, so we would put the water bottles in socks, pour water over the sock, and then hang it out the window as we drove our unarmored 1980s Humvees around the Afghanistan mountains. There were no showers for weeks at a time, and laundry also didn't happen. We would wear socks and underwear until we absolutely had to change, and then we would burn them. Now, the upside for us was that even with all of that, we were still outside and able to see and experience the land. But you put those same conditions on sailors and Marines that are stuck in an aircraft carrier or one of the smaller ships that makes up the aircraft carrier group, and you keep them in a heightened sense of vigilance due to constant combat operations, then you really start to test the ability to strain the human mind and push yourself to perform. Then, when you start to see the finish line, you are then jolted away from it and told that you're being extended with no end date. And that sucks a lot. Both of my combat deployments were extended right when we thought we were almost done, and that takes a toll. And then you're going to bring all of these people back, give them a pat on the back, pin some chest candy to their uniform, and watch them leave the service knowing that you have set their care up for failure by defunding, understaffing, and not supporting the system you promised them would be there to help when they enlisted. And you wonder why so many veterans of the military would rather punch their own card and exit this plane of existence rather than stick around and be disappointed by continued broken promises and the absolute mockery of the word support. But hey, at least y'all put a yellow ribbon magnet on your car and made sure that we had preferred parking at Lowe's and a 10% discount to Wendy's.
Everybody needs to share this video with absolutely everybody. Months ago, families of sailors and Marines contacted me about their starving children, husband, and wives aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. I conducted an investigation and I broke the story about one of those sailors losing over 30 pounds and almost fainting in chow lines when Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth dismissed reports of the food shortages and actually called my reporting fake news. But now, months later, families are sounding an even more serious alarm. Multiple sailors aboard the Lincoln have attempted to prepare or have tried to jump overboard. The Navy has not yet publicly said exactly how many incidents there have been. The roughly 5,000 Marines and sailors aboard left San Diego in November. The Lincoln was redirected to the Middle East and has remained there supporting Trump's ego war. Sailors are now working longer hours with more problems getting food, basic supplies, even receiving mail is still a problem. And some parents I'm speaking to still to this day are worried about their kids, husbands, and wives' mental health aboard the ship. One family says a sailor is now on medical hold after attempting to go overboard. Another sailor reportedly had to physically stop another shipmate from going over the side. And this is why my investigation months ago matters. I raised the alarms and no one listened. What about now? What about this time? Share this video with absolutely everybody. Comment the word proof for the link to the breaking report that I and the families of these sailors put out months ago.
I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. Right now, I got a serious headache. And just keeping it all the way 100. Dealing with these topics is very, very stressful. But what's the nigga to do? Just continuously act as if I don't see the world turning upside down. Like, seriously, I got a serious headache right now. Pounding. Looking for some Excedrin. We got so many battles we get ready to come up against in America and in this world that is scary. How do you see the earthquakes that's happening overseas and then think to yourself that it can't happen to us? And then the words and the whispers that it's man-made, that's a whole nother video, a whole nother story. How do you look at the fact that out of nowhere, oceans is just drying out? And I think to myself, damn, Iran bombed the shit out of them overseas, and then out of nowhere, they started getting water again. Things that make you go, So then you think to yourself, damn, man has the power of God and is playing and using with the technology to cause a drought. You tune in and you turn on social media and the news, and you see our punk president leaves his staff, abandon him on a plane that he thinks could possibly get bombed, jump in the back of a damn near mail truck, and go into hiding and leave his staff behind. And now we hearing all these rumors of our military, our children, our brothers and sisters overseas jumping into the ocean because they can't take the conditions anymore. The world is changing fast. It is not changing for the better. We on a countdown to evil. And the scary part about it, the scariest part about it is when they say, pick your poison. Which one do you pick? Earthquake, famine, drought, hunger, tornadoes, tsunamis, missiles, World War III, Armageddon. Which one do you pick? Waking up in a nuclear holocaust? Being homeless? And then possibly my next video, which I'm going to talk about, is ICE and their new glove. Yeah, stay tuned for that one. I got a headache. To put on these glasses, to take that red pill, to make you see, how they said in the Matrix that dude just wanted the one that sold Neo out in the first Matrix. He just wanted to go back and know what it's like to taste a steak again. He didn't want to see nothing no more. He wanted to go back. That's not me. But at the same time, having the wisdom in the eyes to see to what's happening, and you see through the BS. You know, you was one of those that didn't get on the line to take that vaccination, and now you sit up there watching Fauci pleading the fifth. Then when you sit back and you analyze these celebrities, these puppet, it seemed like as the world is turning upside down, you see Charleston White acting a fool. Academics going at it with Rock Nation. 50-year-old rapper podcasters beefing back and forth with each other. 40-year-old rappers, upstate New York versus New York City. Where's all the men at? And it's just sad to see. We'll never have another Tupac. We'll never have another Muhammad Ali. We'll never have another Malcolm X. But you'll find a Charleston White. Y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Live life as if you're on the run. Stay dangerous at the same time. I'm out.